Hey dudes, welcome to Splat Uncovered. And I hope you are all having a Merry Christmas night. So, on December 22nd of last year, 2021, I did half of an interview with the gorgeous, the talented, and often overlooked singer and actress Yvonne Elliman, who you all may remember from Jesus Christ Superstar. And unfortunately, the interview was truncated because Yvonne's sickly mother called her, and we were supposed to finish the interview that week, and it never happened. And I've tried for over a year now to get the interview finished, and it hasn't happened. But I went back and listened to it the other night and thought, you know what? I think I'll just release this as a Splat Uncovered, because I think that this is probably the most I'm ever going to get from Yvonne, both in terms of schedule and just the kind of a character that she is. I think that, for the most part, I got, what I needed, and it's a pretty upbeat, fun, insightful, charming little interview, But I will tell you this, though. We recorded this at midnight my time in California, and it was 10 p.m. her time in Hawaii. And I was very, very tired. And in the last few minutes, I brain farted at a certain point. I think as I listened back to it, I think I was making reference to Ted Neely about how, he's gonna, when he dies someday, Jesus Christ Superstar will be on his tombstone. I think that's the point I was trying to make, and she was probably talking about somebody else besides Ted, but yet I think we were both tired and we both brain farted, and so that's what you get out of that part of the conversation near the end there. But this is a very funny, charming, enjoyable little conversation that we had in 42, 43 minutes. So I hope you all enjoy it. So here is me having an almost complete conversation with the one, the only Yvonne Elliman. So, Yvonne, I want to start by saying this is such a great honor. Thank you so much for taking the time tonight. And going back
in... You're very welcome. Thanks for wanting me. Can you tell that I have no teeth? Like when I'm talking?
No, you sound actually like someone who does have teeth.
Oh, good. Okay, so I don't sound like Sylvester or anything then?
Not at all. Not at all.
All right, good.
So, going back in time, I read that you were playing the ukulele from the time you were 4 and taking piano lessons at the age of 7. So you were a born musician practically.
Yeah, I think at the age of 4 things a bit stretched. Perhaps I was 6 or 7. Yeah, I did start the piano at the age of 7, and that was wise. My father was a very wise man. Mm-hmm. He was 92 when he passed away, which is pretty old for a white guy, I think.
Yeah.
My mom is 102. She's still alive. She's Japanese. So that's more understandable. But my dad just said, piano, and he sat next to me, and he would make me practice an hour and a half every day. And so that got on me a bit because it was so regimented. And I went to my lessons. I did recitals. I was getting good. I was understanding theory and all the stuff that's important, I think, in music. You can understand what makes a chord and what's a triad and what makes harmony and all that stuff. And so it helped with the singing. But then the singing part was just me in front of the mirror singing with the radio, like Barbra Streisand, or singing along with the hits of the day. And what it really did latch onto, it made me want to sing, was Grace Slick. Because I loved her voice. Oh my God, I love that Machine Gun Vibrato, the power she had, the range, what she sang about, how she looked. I mean, I just loved her.
Yeah.
And in fact, I can do a great Grace Slick. I sit in my massage chair and I put it on a certain punctual go, and I sing the White Rabbit. I've got to do a YouTube of me doing it. It's pretty but I loved her. So she was.
Yeah.
And then my dad and mom had all the classics from before, so I said the Perry Comos and Frank Sinatra's and the Lennon sisters, not the Lennon sisters, the McGuire sisters, Mr. Shea, I mean, all kinds of great stuff. I sing along with this record, all the records that they had with the 45s, and then the Beatles came along, of course. and then acid came along. So it changed. But
who were your musical influences growing up? Like, who did you listen to a lot?
Well, Beatles.
Yeah.
Beatles a lot. Grace, like the rest of the Jefferson Airplane, all the San Francisco stuff that was just mushrooming and huge. And I loved the English stuff that was coming in too. It was a great time for music. Oh my gosh. And the Hawaiian stuff, there wasn't much happening.
Yeah.
You know, there really wasn't. And when I went away and I was gone for 30 years, I know that's when it started to really erupt over here and some great stuff came out, but I missed a lot of it. Anyway, so that's what influenced me, and that's why when I was given the opportunity to go to England, well, it was an opportunity, but it was also my dad going, go, here's something you can do. Mm-hmm. And he was afraid I was going to end up, just pregnant and, just for a washout if I stayed over here, because you can get kind of, just very, very happy in your little plantation home and with your old man and your babies and your pineapples, and no, it wasn't like that, but it was in a way. You get what's it called, rock fever, island fever. Well, I had the island fever where you want to get off the island because I saw so much happening, in England and San Francisco, and there was so much going on, and it wasn't happening in Hawaii. So all they were doing was they were taking all of our young men and putting them in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. That sucked big. And so I wasn't the protesting type, but I was the type that wore a penny flowers on my face. So, I sat on the front lawn of my high school and I played my acoustic guitar and just sang. I just wailed. And there was this teacher. He taught world history and band and orchestra. And I was in the orchestra. I played bass, the big stand-up bass. Because nobody else would, so I took it on. So I got A's, and he liked me a lot. But I also started a folk band called We Folk.
Yeah.
And we won a couple of the big talent shows over here. And so he liked my voice a lot. He put me in the studio, and he recorded me singing something. I don't know what it was, but he took that tape to England when it was, we used to have a thing called Easter Vacation. It wasn't called Spring Break. It was Easter Vacation. And so he went to England. That's where he was from. In fact, he brought soccer to Hawaii. He was, important. So he went back to England and he played my tape to this big agent named Morris King. Mm-hmm. And Morris King said, "Oh, yeah, okay, when she graduates, bring her over here. We'll make her a star, right?" So he did that. He said, "I've got to take her." And to all my teachers, he said, "Listen, I know she's a failing student. You've got to pass her because if you don't, she's going to end up really in a bad place here. I've got possibilities for her in England." So they all gave me D's, and I sang for Society's Child at my graduation with a purple gown. Everybody says white. I dyed mine purple. I sewed bells onto the sleeves, and I walked down ching, 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 ching all the way to the podium. I sang Society's Child, and that was it. And I was gone in 2 weeks. Landed in London, and I hated it. It was so freaking cold that I would walk around Soho with my bare feet because I didn't like wearing shoes very much, Mm-hmm. And so I walked around bare feet, just walking around, and it was this old geezer comes up. He said, "Hey, darling, you better put on some shoes. You get syphilis." I get syphilis. You better put on some shoes. So I said, "Geez, I got some shoes." I put it on. I thought, my God, I didn't even know what syphilis was, but it sounded bad. And so it was freezing cold. I was in this. I was with this family who took care of me. They were he was like my financier and he had a wife. And they were supposed to give me money and help me if I needed any help, around town, whatever, doing auditions. They weren't very good because that wasn't their business. So I was sitting in this restaurant, ISO's restaurant, it's a Jewish restaurant. And this woman was sitting there and she said to this man, she said, "Bring that girl over to me. She looks very interesting." And so he brought me over to him. She said, "What's your name?" And I told her. She was like, "You're very interesting, darling, but you walk like a duck." And so she took me under her wing, and she became my manageress. Mm-hmm. Her name is Jan Lettieri.
Right.
Her husband was famous. He was Salazzo in The Godfather. He wrote Where Eagles Dare, the sweet play. And so, she was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Most beautiful woman. And she made me, she got her seamstress for me, and they made gowns for me. They put me in shoes, taught me how to walk a little bit. And she got me the gig on the 7th Street, which is his club on Kings Road. And that's where I was singing everything I knew, because the guy who was supposed to show up, he didn't show up. And so the owner said, "Listen, you go up and you do everything you know, and just go." And so I went out there and I did everything I knew, and it was from, I mean, a lot, from where I have all the flowers gone to can't find my way home, and when I die, I mean, just a lot of different things, just random stuff. But I did it, and I loved it. And when I was finished, I was sweating, and I was happy because I finally got to sing my stuff. And Andrew Lloyd Webber comes running up to me and says, "Yo, my Mary Magdalene." And he was crazy. He was wild look in his eyes. His hair was all, Beethoven-like. And he says, "I've got to sing all these by Superstar. I would love to take them." And he's going on and on and on. And when I heard recordings, I said, "Oh." In my mind, I'm going, that's the little squiggly bits on the record that you can see that represent your voice. And that's all I wanted to do at that time. That was my goal. And so I thought, yeah, he said, would you like to come in and listen to the song? I said, yes. So I went to his flat the next day, and he played I Don't Know How to Love Him. And I thought, that's a funny song for a mother to sing to her son, And he said, "Oh, no, that's not for the mother. It's a whore, darling." I said, "What?" And so he explained the story to me. I thought, oh, okay, now that makes sense. And then I could sing it a little bit more. I don't know. I didn't know what whoring was about, but I certainly knew that it wasn't a mother anymore singing to her son. So when I went to the studio, I did it one take, boom, that was it, and I was out. And it was quick.
Yeah.
It was the quickest thing I ever did. And they offered me 100 pounds or half of 1%.
Yeah.
And with the five 20-pound notes spread across the desk, I took the money.
Wow.
With the help of my manager, was that woman who said, "Darling, it's a piece of shit. Just take the money." She was starving. I mean, she got separated from Al, Gary, and we were living on cocoa stones from the cocoa machine, the dried powder.
Oh yeah.
We would eat that for dinner, and so we were so hungry. We had no money, and so she said, "Take the money," and we went out and bought a case of Matsus wine and a bunch of steaks, and we cooked them up, and we had a party on the roof with Britt Eklund and the likes of. She knew a lot of people, Peter Sellers, people like that. She put me on a date with Peter Sellers one night.
Oh yeah.
Oh, took me to his apartment, and he did. You know what he showed me? Dr. Strangelove. You know that movie?
Oh, I love that movie. It's a classic.
He got his projection screen up, and he got this movie thingy, whatever, and he played Dr. Strangelove for me.
Yeah.
And he stood next to the screen, and he did the different parts.
Mm-hmm.
He did the parts of the guy of Dr. Strangelove in his wheelchair, and he was doing all that, and I was like half amused, but I was looking at his daughter, who was playing with Barbie dolls on the floor next to me. I was more interested in that. And I didn't realize what I was seeing in front of me. This was this fucking legend doing all the parts of Dr. Strangelove for me, but I didn't respond. And so he took me home after that. He first took me to his Chevy Mustang 500 up and down Park Avenue as fast as he could go, trying to impress me. Scared the shit out of me. And then he took me on kissed me on the forehead, and he told my friend, he said, "She's a bit young there, but she's very interesting. She's a bit young." So.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome. So you went on a date with Inspector Clouseau. That is so fucking awesome.
Isn't it? Yeah. He's great because he was at a party one night at her house, and he had smoked some weed, and he got so paranoid. His heart was pounding because he had heart trouble. So he was laying down in this office, and he said, "Donna, we should go talk to Peter. Just talk him down. Use your Hawaiian ways, She didn't know what that was, but I didn't know either. But I went in there, I talked to him, I said, and I just, just be cool. And he said, "I feel rather good now." He says, "Oh, you're nice to talk to." And so that's when he comes up this day with me.
Yeah.
But I might just be the thing that he needs, in his life. And he didn't need another child. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you did the Broadway show of Jesus Christ Superstar for 4 years. And I talked to Ted.
No, I did for 6 months, honey.
Oh, you did for 6 months. Okay, Ted did it for 4 years. Then I got the two timelines mixed up.
No, they knew that I wasn't going to be a longevity.
Yeah.
I always talked about I want to be a rock singer.
Yeah.
So I wanted to play kick-ass electric guitar.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to be. I would copy Jimmy Page's licks, sitting in my London flat. I would just sit all night learning these things,
Mm-hmm.
And then I would go on the London bus with a paper of a fretboard in my hand, and I would try and just play this because that's what I read Jimi Hendrix did at school in his desk. He had just a neck of a guitar and he would just finger it, So I thought I'd just bring a piece of paper with a fretboard and finger it and see if it did the same thing. But, so that's what I wanted to be. And I think when I went to the Phil Donahue show with Jeff Van Holt and Carl Anderson, Phil Donahue, went to Chicago. It's so cool. I was so excited. I mean, I was young to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom's calling for my dad. Hey, Russell. She's passed away, but she has dementia. See. Anyway, so we're live, Phil was saying, and so Phil says to me, and so Yvonne, how are you? How are you enjoying Broadway? I said, it's kind of boring, really, I really would like to be. And I can see on the side, they're cutting the fingers across the neck, like, cut, like, don't. Because I'm supposed to be promoting the show because, ticket sales and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I didn't understand. They don't tell me that stuff. They expect me to know it. I'm 18 years old, good grief. I'm 19 at that point. And so I was ready to go. I was ready to go on to other things. And so after 6 months, they did a going away party for me. And then I hooked up with Angela. I was already recording an album with Tim and Andrew.
Yeah.
Recording an album, and I thought it was going to sell big because, of course, Superstar did. And I thought, I was probably the voice that everybody wanted to hear. So I was thinking, okay, here we go. It's my number one album. Gold. No, it didn't sell anything. It just flopped big time. And I think, that's right. So then I was thinking, my mom's calling me. Wait, I'm not going to let her. She might just be happy. She calls my name in her sleep. Maybe that's what she. Yeah.
I hope so.
So, So anyway, that album it flopped, and then I moved to England, back to England, and I recorded Fruit of Love, which was an album that I told the writers. I said, listen, if you can just write an album that's full of debauchery, something like gluttony and lesbianism, because at that time lesbianism wasn't like it was accepted. I thought it was kind of like just a naughty thing,
Right.
And so that, and then murder, and just write some songs about it. I was tired of the Mary Magdalene image. I was tired of it. I wasn't, I wasn't brought up religiously. My father was a Christian, my mother was a Buddhist, but not practicing.
Right.
And so that's why when he said, Mary Magdalene, I thought that was Mary's mother. And I only lived in the nativity scene, that's it. And so, to be, every night you get off Broadway and you go out the back door and there's all these people standing out there going, no, Krishna's the way, Buddha's the way, El Topo's the way, and they all be like angry at me. And it was like, wow, I didn't sign up for all this, aggro and this austerity. So it got to be, and this is every night, So it got to be like, what's next, And so these writers, they wrote a song called I Don't Know How to Love Some Blues.
Right.
It's like, I can't find the learning how to love him no more, and I'll be moving on my way, So it was like, always ready to go, and I love that album. It's one of my favorite albums.
Yeah.
Song by Robbie Robertson, and I don't know if you heard the thing I did called, it's an old Meatloaf song called Happy Ending, and I listened to it the other day, and
No.
man, Meatloaf is a strange man. I never really met him.
Yeah.
I didn't know him, but he did have a strange kind of idea about lyrics and what would move people. And, as funny as he looked and as weird as he sounded, he did have an endearing kind of touching thing to his lyrics. So, anyway, Happy Ending. Go listen to it if you can.
Okay, I'll check it out on YouTube. Maybe it's on there. I do love your
Can't Explain is a minor hit over there.
Oh yeah, I love
Pete Townsend. He walked into the studio. Pete Townsend walked into the studio with a brandy bottle and his guitar. All he walked and didn't say a word to anybody. And he just triple tracked his guitar.
That's so cool.
Triple tracked it, and he blew out the whole electronics of the studios. And so we all had to go down to the club below and took a few drafts to the fix the electrical problem because he just blew it. He blew everything out there. Then he went back up and he finished up, and then he just walked out. Chewing tongue with brandy bottle was empty at this point, and he never said a word to anybody.
Oh, that's so cool.
But he was great. I met him later in life when I was on the road with Eric, and he was in the room next to me in his hotel, and I was drinking whiskey out of this bottle early in the morning because, I just thought that's what we're supposed to do. And he came out of the door and he came up to me and he said, darling, he said, you're a very pretty lady. He You don't have to do that. Don't do that. He was in his position of life. He'd gotten to that period in his life where everything was, he just said no to everything that was bad and
Yeah.
white, and he preached, the goodness of life and religion. I don't know what his religion was, but all I was wearing white, and he told me to stop it. And so I did. I actually did for like 3 days. And I didn't see anything happening in my life that was for the better. It made things kind of more difficult, Eric was a big drinker. And the boys in the band, everybody was drinking. I just thought I'd be with boys, and I started drinking, and I eventually developed an alcohol problem that was pretty bad,
Yeah. What did Steve?
I don't remember driving home and stuff like that. What?
Oh yeah, I can imagine. What did Steve Winwood think about your version of "Can't Find My Way Home"?
Steve Winwood, I never did speak with him, but I loved it too. I recorded it 4 different times.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I sang it. Yeah, I guess I learned it when I don't know if I heard it in Hawaii. I doubt it. When was it released? Blind Faith album?
I think that was in 7. Which one? The first album?
Yeah.
The first album was 71. I think 71.
71. Okay, so yeah. So how come I sang it at the Pheasantry in 1970?
Or actually, it was 72. I'm sorry, 72.
72?
Yes.
Then I didn't sing it at the Pheasantry. That's me making up shit. Because I couldn't have, because it wasn't out yet.
Because the first,
I did put it on. I did put it on my first album.
Because Blind Faith came out in 69. That's when they did it, and then in 72 was when you did it.
Oh, okay. But they did it. Okay. So I might have done it at the Pheasantry because they put it out in 69.
Right.
Huh? Yeah. That's when I went to England, and so I must have gotten it then and got hold of it. Yeah, and so I did sing at the Pheasantry, okay. And then I recorded it. I recorded it again, and then at the Hammersmith Odeon there. Then at that great TV show. What's that TV show in England?
Top of the Pops.
No, the other one.
Shindig.
You're going way back. Wow.
I know all those shows.
Wow. Damn, no, I didn't even know.
BBC.
No, I wasn't on any of those shows, but there was something that Eric did.
BBC Crown Jewels or something.
Old Grey Whistle Test.
Oh yeah, Old Grey Whistle Test. Okay, I was missing that one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I did it on there, and I love that version. And then Eric told me to go and do it when we were out, because he wanted to go have a smoke break, right?
Yeah.
He would leave the stage, and he'd go back to that smoke break, and I would do Camp on My Home, and the audience loved it. They loved it. There was huge response to that, and so I think he started to wanted to get in on that because Eric, he's not one to just give something away.
Yeah.
So he came on stage and he would harmonize it with me, and they started playing guitar, and then he took it over and he sped it up and everything. I like slowing it down. I like singing it slower. I like being able to put more feeling into it.
Yeah.
Greenwood's version was very fast. Dang it, yeah, that's pretty fast. I think it way slower. Only because I could put more feeling in the lyrics.
Yeah.
But I heard a version the other night that I'd never heard before, and I was singing so much like, "Help me, Lord, my sweet, sweet Lord, I get down on my knees and I pray, Lord." Singing all that, and I was like, whoa, that's really something. Because I'm never good at that. I'm never good at just ad-libbing or saying all that stuff. Blacks are really good at that when they talk through a song, and Freddie Parent, who was my producer on the Love Me album, where I had those hits.
Right.
His black, his wife was white, and they wrote a bunch of songs. They asked me if I would be interested in doing them, and I'm really bad at saying no. I really have a hard time, especially if somebody wants to give me their song and let me try it at least. I have to say yes, and because it's like so rude, right?
Right.
And so I did their song, and they made me sound good, and it wasn't me at all. I can't get you out of my mind, hard as I try. You're there all the time. You know what I mean? It's too Anne Murray. It's too rude. Even what's her face? I'm sorry. I'm fucking 70 years old.
It's okay.
And I get memory lapses. Her Carpenter's. Karen
Carpenter.
How very sweet, wonderful her voice is and everything. But
Oh yeah. She was one of the greats.
It's just absolutely. But for me to sound like that, it's just like this claws on a chalkboard. I didn't want to sound like that. Absolutely not. That's not me. I was. And then my manager, Shep Gordon.
Shep Gordon was your manager? I didn't know that.
Shep, yeah, he took over for me after Robert Stigwood dropped me.
He was also Alice Cooper's manager.
Yes, absolutely, and Blondie's and so many people. Peggy Pendergrass and Murray.
Yeah.
He had a lot of people in his Manhattan Transfer, and me. And he said, let's change your look, So he took my guitar away for one.
Yeah.
He took the jeans, put me in satin pants, and put chainmail on me, and fingernails. I thought, whoa, what's going on here? Because the disco thing, I was having to promote that, and suddenly I was without the guitar. I didn't know what to do with my hands. And I'm going, shit. And I'm singing stuff that, one moment by moment, and no, it's not going. This is opening the wrong way. I'm thinking to myself. Okay, I left Eric's band. Robert Stigwood said, please, you can't be on Eric's band anymore. You've got to go on the road on your own. You've got your own songs. You're climbing up the charts. You've got to go and promote those. You need a band of your own.
Right.
Well, that was the biggest disappointment in my life because I was where I wanted to be. And Eric's band, that was fine with me. Certainly you're playing 80,000 people in stadiums and he's giving you a spot on his stage to sing all of your favorite songs. And you've got a gun belt on and then all the bullets, where you keep your bullets, you've got $20 bills all rolled up, and you take them out, you throw them out in the audience, and that makes me so happy. I was just happy.
Yeah.
But then Robert said, you have to leave, you got to go, you've got to do your own thing. So suddenly here I was, and Learjets and yachts and near Ibiza, and just riding all over the place, and with the legend of rock and roll, Eric Clapton, my God. Suddenly I'm playing like the gigs where I have to put my guitar player on the steps that lead down to the cellar, the cellar door and places like that, in Boston and in New York, little grungy places. Yet great reputations, but small and grungy and I didn't have any of that star luster that I had been getting used to, and then I remember on one night, it was Good Friday, and it was in Denver, and there was hardly anybody in the audience, and I was kind of shit-faced, and I remember kicking on my leg, and my pants ripped, and I said, Happy Good Friday, everybody, because you don't say Happy Good Friday, right?
Yeah.
So I was really getting off the deep end, and I think Shep said, you have to go to rehab for a while, so I did, which is just a pile. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. Intervention, not intervention. The stuff that they give you a shot and it's supposed to make you sick.
Right.
When you smell alcohol. I did that, and I threw up and all that stuff. And after 3 weeks, I went out. The first thing I wanted to do was test it, if it worked. See, when I go to the bar, if I smell alcohol, am I going to throw up? No. The drink went down fine. I ended up getting toasted and happy, and I just carried on my. The only thing that got me sober and straight was getting pregnant, and having somebody in me that I had to be responsible for.
Yeah.
And then I totally stopped all of that, and I lived the straight life for many years. And I finally moved back here in 2001. When the marriage wasn't going great, I had great children from this man, two wonderful kids, but he was a mess. And so I came back to live with my parents. And just when they started needing help, and then I met my good friend who started playing guitar again. He said, sing. What's the matter with you? How come you don't sing anymore?
Yeah.
Here. Play the guitar. And she put the guitar. He said, sing. So he kind of forced me. So I started singing. And I started feeling better about it. And then we started getting gigs. And then I started to, people in Hawaii would just treat me like, well, Miss Yvonne Elliman. I was like a big fish in a small pond again. Whereas while I was in LA, my star had begun to fade, because after Saturday Night Fever, I was not really, I turned down by the feeling. You know that song?
Oh, yeah, from Last Dance.
I don't feel it. I turned it down. I just really don't want to, I don't want to carry on in that genre. And Andrew Lloyd Webber, he sent me a cassette of Memories of a Lord in the Moonlight from Cats.
Yeah.
And he offered me that, and I said, no, it's too high. I can't sing that high. And I was turning stuff down where, most people would say, yeah, absolutely. And I talked to Robin Gibb. I said, hey, have you heard of an island somewhere where you can just buy an island somewhere and we all just hang out over there and just live life for real for a while?
Yeah.
So I was making these kinds of noises, like just unhappy with being first of all, in singing in a genre that most people, a lot of people thought that I was into. Because I'm a pretty good, I can sing any song and make it look real. Because all you have to do is close your eyes and imagine it's for real, and you can sing it. You put your heart into it, and you can get it out there.
Of course.
You get the feeling out there. But to keep on doing it night after night after night on gigs, when you're not feeling it for real,
right,
you really put a strain on your soul.
Yeah.
So I met somebody, married him, because in 10 days we were married.
Right.
I guess I needed to start a family. Maybe there was something in me, that said you got to start a family. Because when my daughter was born, that's what I keep saying. I got married because my daughter had to be born. Because she's so fantastic. She's a fantastic person. She's like the Pied Piper. All the children love her. I mean, she's a fabulous person. So anyway, I digress. But I did live that life, and I was a mom, a great mom, super great mom. I didn't turn down anything. My husband at the time answered the phone when Carl Anderson called me up, saying that there was a world tour going on. Jesus Christ Superstar was just starting to bloom all over again, and they were doing these tours, and I could have made $2 million, and we were so hungry. We were getting evicted everywhere we went.
Yeah.
And so that, I didn't know about it because my husband answered the phone. Carl said, "Would you like to do the Superstar tour?" He said, "No. But you need a guitar player because you play guitar." Carl said, no, we need guitar players. We need Yvonne. He said, no, she's not interested. And so I didn't hear about it,
Yeah.
And so I just lived, as I said, in Georgetown. And I lived in 7 different places. We got evicted out of every single one. And finally the last one, this is my son came here, but while I was in the beginnings of that marriage, I remember taking a shopping cart and putting a huge load of laundry in there. I put my daughter on top of it, straddling the top of the laundry pile. And I had Benny in my tummy. I was about 7 months pregnant.
Yeah.
And I remember pushing this cart up this hill towards Wilshire Boulevard to this laundromat. And I got to the top of the hill. I was sweating, and I just looked like the wreck, I guess. And this car pulled up, and it went, and pointed a finger, and they went, "You hear it?" Nah. They drove away. It couldn't be her. Look at her. She looks like the cat dragged in. And that was like a big, big hurt for me. I went, oh, ouch, that feels so good. And that must really be disappointing to people.
Yeah.
What can you do about that? What can you do? I remember my husband didn't want me to sing. He said, no, I had to bring up the children and cook for dinners and be a homemaker. And I did. I was a great homemaker. I won the Malibu Pie Festival. I made my Adonis of a husband. He was gorgeous. I made him to 350 pounds. I got back at him. He wouldn't let me sing. And so he only wanted me to sing his songs that he wrote in church. And so that's, you can imagine how well that landed, with me. But I stayed in that marriage because the kids, so many people do that.
Yeah. And
it's wrong. You shouldn't really do that. Especially if you're like really cutting your opportunities off,
Right.
But then if you're going to hurt your children, how do you judge that? How do you put that into the right order? Would I've hurt my children if I took them with me on the road? Maybe. Maybe Sage wouldn't have ended up in Stanford. Maybe she'd be a singer somewhere. Maybe, so we don't know these things. But as things like that, I don't think I would have changed a thing because I learned how to chop wood with one hand.
Yeah.
I learned how good bear is when you eat it, and baby goat and all these kind of things. I mean, maybe they're not the most important things in life, but it certainly was the other side of the coin. What I needed to learn about, because I think I needed to learn the humility and the struggling that people go through, because that is the other side of life. But a lot of people who was privileged or whatever, they never know about. So I did get to witness that, and I did get to witness at Italy with Teddy Neely, and being 65 or 66 years old, him being 70-something, Barry Bennett being almost 80, on stage with nothing but 20-year-olds dancing and singing around you, that the audience didn't seem to care at all, that there was this huge generation gap.
Yeah.
That, the parts we were playing didn't necessarily fit the age bracket that they were put in the original piece when the piece was written by Tim and Andrew. They still accepted it, and they gave us huge ovations. It was just wonderful. I didn't know what they would do, because Andrew was not so big about you changing the key on song, because everything merges from one to the next, It makes sense to him at the end of one song to go into the next song that has to be the correct connection, chord-wise or whatever. And so I changed that, and I love it, took it 2 notes down, and he was not happy, but I put it in a B rather than a D. And it was like, I'm sure he was cringing, but he finally said okay, and so I was able to do it, and wow, I never thought I'd be on that stage again singing that song, dealing with lepers and Herod and all that, and it was just wonderful. I got to do it again, and I loved it. And so I praise Jesus Christ. So thank you so much, and thank you, Saturday Night Fever. Thank you, Disco, for taking me on the road again to put me out with all these other people that are not just one-hit wonders. I mean, just like legends,
Yeah.
I'm out there with these people and singing maybe 1 or 2 songs. That's about it. But on and off, nobody gives you the hook. Everybody gives you great praise and standing ovations. But nothing wrong in that. Nothing wrong in that. Being at this age, not having a current album out. I do have songs I've written, but I've come to the realization that not everybody wants to hear what's in my mind, what's on my mind,
Yeah.
As long as I get to record it and play for a few friends, maybe. That's all I need.
When you got offered...
Okay, now you can ask some questions.
Okay. When you got offered the movie version of Jesus Christ Superstar, what did you think? Did you think that it would turn out well, or did you think it was a bad idea?
Oh, no, I thought it would turn out great. I'm a very optimistic person. I really am that way. I don't know how to be any other. And the fact that I had to do a screen test, I didn't realize that I was against people like Marta Heflin and some really good actresses, They didn't tell me that, but they were so kind that way. I just went and did the thing. I knew. I recorded it. We had to re-record it, right, for the movie. And then I learned it so well, because it was a little different from the original recording. But they told me that I had to lip-sync it, so I lip-synced it so perfectly that you wouldn't be distracted. You'd be into the song watching me. If you screw up the lip-sync, you're distracted. All of a sudden, it's like you're out of the song. Something's wrong, that doesn't look right. But if you lip-sync it perfectly, the person gets drawn into what you're doing. And so that's I think what got me the gig. And Murray Head, who did Judas in the album, the original album, he thought he was a shoo-in because, of course, he's a great actor. He's done acting. He was known for it. And, of course, the part he created was wonderful. He's a great singer, too. But he couldn't lip-sync to save his life. When he came to do it, he didn't know it. And he was all over the place until they said, you can't do this. It's unpredictable. We don't know what he's going to do. So they gave Carl the role. Thank goodness. What a Judas. I think he's the ultimate Judas, don't you?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a huge part of his life. It's going to be on his tombstone when he passes.
Yeah.
And I just hope it'll be a while, because we need that guy in this world.
Carl is gone.
I'm talking.
A while ago.
Oh, God, who am I thinking of? I don't know.
You think it's Teddy? You think you're Teddy?
No.
Oh, well, no, I'm talking about Carl. What a great Judas, I think it's, but he said it quite well. Everybody sings a role like him now. They don't sing it like Murray Head. Yeah. Who are you thinking of? I'm curious.
I'm sorry?
Who are you thinking of? I'm curious.
I don't know. I was thinking of. I don't know. I've been drinking caffeine all day.
How many productions have you seen?
Of Jesus Christ Superstar. I've only seen the movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen it live. I want to see it live
You're kidding.
someday. Yeah. I've
Not
never
even a
seen
high
it.
school production, nothing like that?
No, it's funny. My high school, right? We did productions at Grease, Fiddler on the Roof after I left, Damn Yankees,
Yeah.
plays like that, but never Jesus
Yeah.
Christ Superstar. I don't think they wanted religion, in the school.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, whenever I've seen any kind of like small time production, whatever, I always love it. It's like you can adapt it to a simpler stage. It's just amazing. I guess that's what happens when music stands up for itself,
Right.
I guess so. Unless the people playing music is shitty and they make it sound like, then it's not going to fly. But whenever I've seen it, it's been just a joy, and I cry at each and every one. And so, I don't know if that's nostalgia or whatever, but it's certainly going to live on way past the time that us, the original people in it are gone. It's going to live on.
Yeah.
Those things, and I was lucky enough to be in that. It became the biggest seller of all time until Saturday Night Fever, and then Saturday Night Fever got bumped by Thriller. But I was on two of the greatest selling albums of all time. And then I was in Eric Clapton's comeback, when he came back, and everybody was so interested in him because, and he changed his whole trip. He became country. He was like, what? But I was the first band, and the first woman in any of his bands. And so I got to be in that, with I Shot the Sheriff and all that. And
Yep.
that was huge. I got to, in my 10 years that I was in the business, I was in 3 huge things, and who could ask for anything more? It was really a wonderful, amazing dream come true. I guess.
I was going to ask, when you worked with Clapton, did you work also with Marcy Levy?
Yeah. Oh, God, love her.
Yes,
she joined the band. She joined the band when I was running every crowd. When we were in Jamaica. And Patty Clapton was there, and she said, look at that new girl. She was snubbing her a bit. We didn't know what to do because, she's taking her job. She's trying to take your job, Toad. They call me Tojo, Which I found out later is not a nice thing because Emperor Tojo, General Tojo, said he was an asshole.
Yeah.
But Marcy and I got along great. And it's the only way to get along when you share space with somebody. And she had that kind of voice that just took over where mine wouldn't go, And she just sang up there in heaven.
Yeah,
She was down home, real good girl, a wonderful woman. Yeah.
I reached out to her earlier this year. She told me she was going to take a listen to my podcast and then get back to me. It didn't happen, so hopefully next year I'll get to talk to her.
I'll send her an email. I'll tell her that it was good, and I'm going to tell her that he just lets you talk. He doesn't interrupt you. He doesn't ask you silly questions. He's really nice, and you like it very much. So.
Oh.
There's my mom calling me. You hear her calling me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Mom. And she can't hear me. She's deaf. But can you imagine? So she's one of the best.
Yeah.
And she's got dementia. And you got to yell in order for her to hear you. So we're yelling, what? No. And the more you yell, the more you start to feel angry. Because yelling is an angry feeling, unless you're at a football game. But even then, you're yelling for your team. It's kind of like a rage kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yelling at her and all this, and I just want to love her. It's a dementia, man. I don't know if you know anybody with it.
Sort of. I've seen it. It's basically Alzheimer's, right? It's just people forget shit. Yeah.
Alzheimer's is an offshoot of dementia.
An offshoot.
Many offshoots of dementia.
Yeah.
But it's really scary. It's scary because suddenly I don't know her. Like she's looking at me and she's calling me the devil. And I don't know what she's thinking. And was she thinking this stuff all before? And I was her most favorite person in the world.
Yeah.
She's thinking all this stuff before. She's just inventing this stuff now. So anyway, it's really difficult. And it's been a year. She's been a year in hospice.
Oh my God.
And I'm at her beck and call. Whenever she calls me, I'm up and at him because she could be holding voodoo in her hand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's awful.
So weird, and it's hard. So that's my main thing right now. And I was able to go to Boston. I did a show with Teddy, and it was great. And we enjoyed ourselves, and it was nice to be able to get out there. The people have to wear masks, and it's so weird when they can't sing along with you. I don't know. I wish this COVID stuff would just. I wish it would just go away.
I know. Well, we could talk until next week about COVID, but I was curious. Did you know Marsha McBroom on the movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Marsha McBroom, absolutely.
I've talked to.
Actually, she became, oh yeah, you did. She's so sweet, isn't she?
I talked to her twice, yes, and I talked to her sisters this year. They're all great people. Love them.
Oh, did you talk to Bob Bingham?
Who?
Bob Bingham, he was classic.
No, I've talked to Marsha and her sisters.
What about Kurt Yagan? He was Annis. You should. Both those guys would love to talk.
I wanna talk to Josh Mostel.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah.
You're going to get a very far out interview.
Yeah.
He was at the Chiller thing that I did, where you get all the watercraft.
Oh, yeah.
Watercraft people all day long. Chiller up in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And he came with the Superstar cast. Mm-hmm. And all he did was just wants to draw vaginas all day. And he had pictures of vaginas.
Really?
That he was selling.
Oh my God! I gotta ask him about that.
Oh yeah, I got one of them signed. It's probably gonna be worth something someday. But it's a very abstract vagina. It's very Picasso-ish,
Oh my God!
But my mom's calling me. I've got to go.
Okay. Well,
we can continue this. If I can.
Well, there you have it, Yvonne Elliman. That turned out good, didn't it, considering all that we got? Unfortunately, we didn't get to talk about If I Can't Have You or Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the movie, Hawaii Five-0, her Golden Globe nomination. Heck, I didn't even get to tell her a joke. Maybe someday I'll get to finish that interview with her. But it's good for what it is. And I'll have you know, we talked a good 12 minutes before the interview. She didn't know that we weren't recording yet, and she just told me a lot of personal stuff. And I said very little, and I was just listening to her for like 12 minutes. And then I said, "Hey, Yvonne, can I start the interview?" And she was like, "Oh, we're not recording yet?" I'm like, "No." I don't, want to talk that personal with you just yet. Let's, talk about your career. So who knows, maybe I'll get to talk to her again. But in the meantime, this is all that I got to have with Yvonne Elliman. Such a bundle of energy, very interesting lady, and I'm glad I got to talk with her, and I wish nothing but the best for her. She's such a great person. Well, until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, ho, ho, ho.